morning, guy. Good morning on OLIMP TV. I'm here with the legend himself, Mr. Ronnie Coleman. How are you today, sir?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be back.
Well, we're always glad to see you. We're always glad to have you here. Mr. Coleman, I'm gonna ask you a question about yourself. Lots of people knows you. In fact, everybody knows you. But for the new generation, young kids, young lads out there, people who just want to start bodybuilding, tell us about yourself and your achievements in the past.
Well, I started bodybuilding when I was fairly young. I was probably about 12, 13 years old. I got a degree in college, graduated. After college, I started working for the police department. Once I started working for the police department, I actually got into competitive bodybuilding. I did my first show April 7, 1990. It's called the Mr. Texas. I won first place. And I turned pro the very next year. It was like October 1991. I won world championships, heavyweight class. From there, I competed in quite a few, just regular pro shows.
Lots of it.
Yeah, and I finally won the Miss Olympia probably like 7 years later after turning pro in 1998. And I kind of got on a lucky streak and won like 8 in a row. And along the way, I also got on a win streak of winning like 26 pro shows in a row. So it's got fairly lucky.
It's a lot of achievement.
Wow, yeah.
Ronnie, just a question I've got. I want to know what's the secret you keep you going, because it seems like to me you never stops. Your competition, now your own brands. What is the secret? What is that motivation? It keep you going.
I gotta say, it's got to be God-given talent first of all, because if I didn't have the talent, of course, if I wasn't given the gift, then I wouldn't be in the sport. Then it comes in a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of dedication, and a lot of determination, and having a lot of faith to keep me going. But the most important thing of all, you gotta have the love for whatever you're doing. And for me, it's always been like a hobby. So it's kind of nice, once you get into a sport, you're doing it as your hobby, and then all of a sudden you're doing it as your job, and then you got your hobby as a job. So I don't think you can find nothing in life that you can do better than your hobby as your job.
Well said. That is truly well said. Ronnie, as you mentioned, you're a police officer in the past. But be a bodybuilder at the same time as be a police officer. Did it help you for your duty as an officer in the force?
Yeah, as far as being a fact of intimidation, it helped out tons. Because I never had nobody wanted to fight me or try me or want to get into a fight. And most of the time when I just showed up, I had that intimidation factor on the scene, and I didn't have any problems. So it made the job a lot easier. So I kind of look forward to going to work, and I kind of, for a long time, I enjoyed working for the police department. I put in about 15 years, and I was doing full-time police department and full-time Mr. Olympia for a while there, until I got to the point where my travel demands were just too demanding for me to be able to keep up with both, so I had to let the police department go.
But that's some kind of dedication, I would say, because hard work.
Oh yeah, because you got to remember, when you got 2 full-time jobs, you're working 24/7. Only time I got a chance to rest was when I was sleeping. All the other times I was wide awake, and I was always doing something. If I'm awake, I'm doing something. Something constructive along the lines of being a full-time bodybuilder, and of course being a full-time police officer.
Well, yes, well said. You were an active person. A couple of questions, because there's a big crowd here waiting for you for your autograph. Ronnie, as regarding your training and your supplementation, okay, in the past, as you know, they weren't as much as these days, all these protein, etc., creatine, anabolic stuff, they weren't as much as it went 10 years or 15 years ago. What do you think the kids, the new generation, need to take to start if they want to follow your footstep?
Yeah, when I was coming along, all we had was protein shakes and amino acids. And I got a whole lot from my protein shakes and my amino acids. Of course, you know, protein is exactly what builds muscles, and amino acids is pretty much a form of protein. So, and I was also able to get, you know, energy from amino acids. So when kids are coming up, you know, I try to, you know, tell them to do the way I did it. I didn't take a whole lot of stuff. I just mainly just had those two things. But now, you know, I'll say, you know, a multivitamin. You know, you get all your vitamins and minerals, and maybe a protein supplement if you like. And that's all you need as a, you know, like a high school, college kid somewhere now. And you know, once you get past that, then, you know, you can probably get into the you know, testosterone enhancers and all the other stuff that you start declining as, you know, you start getting older.
Right, so basically start from the basic. Right, I'm hearing a lot of rumors going around you're going to compete again.
I wish.
So you're not you're in a great shape, so.
Yeah. The only thing about, you know, age is once you get to a certain age limit, there's certain things the body just won't do anymore. So I've reached that point where, you know, I maxed out my potential when I was in my prime. So now, you know, for me to compete with the young guys, I'd have to be reborn again and pray that I get the same genetic structure that I was born with the first time. So, you know, that's the only thing about it. You know, once you had a new car, you can't go back and reborn that new car. So once it gets old, it stays old.
But you're the legend. You're the legend, and everybody out there looking up to you because you were the strongest. In my generation, I'm looking at myself to you. You were my legend as well. So no matter age, as you said, age is a number, but it's one of those things. I'm going to ask you a personal question. You mentioned about, you know, work is very difficult. As a family boss, you're a family person. Don't you find it very difficult traveling to, because last time I seen you was Germany and then UK and now Spain. Don't you find it really difficult?
Very, very difficult. It's just part of making a sacrifice, though. It's just like, you know, when I was, you know, winning, I'm used to making sacrifices. So this is just another one along the lines of being successful.
Oh yes, that's got a dedication. Right, the last question I'm asking, anything you want to say to the people out there, young kids, the OLIMP fans out there, because lots of Polish people love bodybuilding, lots of them, and it's just any motivation, any advice you want to give them to keep them going, because they want to follow your footsteps, basically.
Yeah, what I try to tell people, when I was coming along, I really didn't know too much about bodybuilding and working out. I was very fortunate to have a guy that teach me and show me all the right things to do. So I just try to tell people knowledge is power. So I always try to find somebody that's very knowledgeable in the sport. And the more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be.
Well, guys, you heard the legend, Mr. Coleman, what he says. So if you follow what he said and listen carefully, you will achieve a goal. But you have to be patient, dedication, motivation. It's a lot of hard work. But finally, if you want it, you will get it. Thanks ever so much.